Good evening, Otherworldlies. This is Queen Juliana, your dark mask diva. Alright, so we're in a new year now, and you've probably spent the end of last year contemplating your life and making some resolutions, or maybe you didn't, but you were still contemplating your life, thinking, maybe things weren't really going your way, or you're wondering what you can do to make things a little better. This is kind of what it boils down to when things are not going your way. If you feel like you're feeling a little ineffectual, things aren't going your way, you're not really getting what you want out of people, and I don't really mean to put it that way, but you're not really getting the results that you want. It really just boils down to this when things aren't going your way, okay? Usually when your interpersonals are not working, it's usually because you do not have proper boundaries, okay? It's usually people who have boundaries usually get the respect they deserve, okay? And if they're not getting that respect, what you end up doing is you just start filtering the people out of your life that don't belong there, okay? Because people are either they need to give in to what you need, or they need to get lost, okay? So you need to be able to set the boundaries, all right? Now, a lot of us, when we were growing up, didn't learn what boundaries were, because we had people in our lives that did not teach us how to say no, did not teach us that it was okay to say no when we didn't like something. We just had to put up with whatever crap was being dealt to us. Okay, guess what? We're grown-ups now. So we need to unlearn whatever nonsense that we had to deal with when we were growing up. Okay, so you are the boss of your own life now. So if you don't like something, it's okay to tell somebody, no, I don't like that. All right? If something is chronically bothering you, there's a reason. It's your inner voice trying to tell you that, hey, this feels wrong. If something happened and you feel some kind of way afterwards, that's the universe. That's your inner voice saying, you need to say something about it. And it's okay to say something about it. It's okay not to like it, okay? Say like you're getting together with somebody and somebody else keeps inviting themselves along. It's okay to say, hey, I just wanted to be alone with that person. Maybe you and I can do something some other time. But I just really wanted to be alone with this person. This was our special time together, and I want to be able to focus on them. So you can say it in a nice way, okay? Some people are very organizational, okay? And they want to see you too. But what they do is they kind of do something called inserting themselves. And they like to organize get-togethers. And some people feel like the more the merrier. So they will invite themselves along when you're doing something with someone else. And they don't stop to think that maybe you would just like some alone time with that other person. So you can find a nice way to tell them that you just want to be alone with that person. Okay, because if you don't, they don't know. They don't know that you need to be alone with that person. Now, the reason you need to be alone with that person, maybe because that third person who keeps inserting themselves, maybe that person kind of overwhelms the situation, or brings other people along who overwhelm the situation. Or maybe you just want to be alone with that person just to be alone with that person, and that's okay. But you need to not feel bad about it, okay? And if that person who invites themselves along feels hurt by it, they have to stop and consider they're inviting themselves along, okay? And essentially inviting yourself along to something is not really good manners, okay? It's just really not. But some people do insert themselves. Some people are more aggressive than other people. But you need to rise to the occasion and be able to tell them no. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with telling them no, because they felt like it was okay to invite themselves along. So you need to feel like it's okay to tell them no. All right? And it doesn't make them a bad person because they're inviting themselves along. They just wanted to hang out with you. Okay? But it also doesn't make you a bad person for wanting to be alone with that other person. All right? So that's one thing. Okay? You don't want your significant other hanging out with someone who makes you uncomfortable. It's okay to tell your significant other you don't like that person. There's some reason you don't like that person, okay? And you feel very strongly about that person, that you really are uncomfortable with that person, okay? Don't keep it to yourself. They may not want to cooperate with you, but you still need to say something about it. Hey, I don't want you hanging out with that person. I'll give you an example. Say like your significant other used to date that person. It's okay to tell them not to hang out with an ex, okay? Because that's inappropriate. Tell them, I don't want you hanging out with your ex. It's inappropriate. You know, that's something they should not be doing. In a relationship, your significant other shouldn't be hanging out with their exes, okay? So just tell them not to do that, okay? That's really just like a recipe for disaster. Now, some people, you know, are friends with the exes of their significant other, and they think that person's really cool and stuff. Okay, that's nice. But a lot of us feel uncomfortable with stuff like that. Come out and say, I don't like that. Come out and say it. Because if you keep your mouth shut, that's not going to do anyone any good, and you're going to feel like you're being played. Okay? So you need to come out and say that. And I can't stress how many times I have gotten a question on different platforms that I'm on about my girlfriend is talking to their ex. Their ex still hits them up. Their ex is looking for them. Their ex friended them on Facebook. Their ex this, their ex that. They're still talking to their ex. And their ex still wants them back. And they still entertain them and talk to them. Okay, it's okay to tell them to stop talking to their ex. Well, what if they get mad at me? Well, then threaten to leave. It's okay to threaten to leave, and if they won't stop talking to the ex, you do need to leave. It needs to come down to that. You're only as strong enough as your ability to walk away. And yeah, it needs to come down to that, because it comes down to respect. Okay? If that person won't leave their ex alone, you need to be able to walk away. Okay? Because they're essentially getting ready to cheat on you. All right? If that person won't leave their ex alone for your relationship, that means they will cheat on you with the ex. That's what that means, okay? If they won't give the ex up for the sake of the relationship, they will cheat on you with the ex. All right? That means they don't have respect for your relationship. So you need to put your foot down about that, all right? They're already disrespecting you by keeping the ex in the relationship, okay? By keeping contact with the ex, okay? Because when people have exes and they're entertaining them and stuff like that, you're never quite sure if you're a placeholder. So, and that's usually what that means, that you are one, okay? That they're just with you until they can get back with the ex. That's generally what that means. So you need to be prepared to walk away. You need to be strong. Or you need to tell them to get rid of that ex, okay? Because your relationship will never move forward if that ex is still in the picture. And that's just basic psychology, okay? So you need to be able to put that boundary up. All right, if you have a friend who won't stop calling and texting, it's as simple as not picking up the phone or not answering the text, or saying, I'm sorry, I'm just really busy right now. Like I was saying in my other videos, you can't drop everything for your friends. All right, especially if you're married, you have kids, you have things you need to do. Your friends can't be your first priority. Okay, once you're married and you have kids, you can't be talking to your friends all day long. Once you have a job, you just can't be chatting with your friends all day long. No. And some of these friends, they're really needy and they think they need all your attention. You can't be doing that. You have a job now. You have a mate now. You have kids now. You can't be texting them all day. You're going to get fired. Your kids are going to get hurt and you're not going to be watching your kids. Okay, your mate's going to be neglected and they're going to be like, who are you talking to? And they're going to think you're cheating on them. Okay, so you can't just drop everything and be at your needy friend's beck and call. Okay, there are times where you can pay attention to your friends, but they can't be your first priority anymore. Okay, that's just an absolute no-no. So you can't be that person that goes, oh, call me anytime you need me. Like, don't be that person that says it's okay to call me in the middle of the night. No, it's not. I'm a mom now. Like, you can't just ring my phone in the middle of the night. That's crazy. And I know people who say that's okay. What kind of person are you? Since what goes on at your house? Since how is that okay? It's okay to put a boundary up. It's okay to say no. Once you start putting boundaries up, you're going to find out who your real friends are. You're going to start noticing people are going to treat you with more respect. You're going to find out who actually really still likes you. And you're going to find out who is playing a control game with you. I started finding out who was in my life because they felt they could control me. I started finding out who really liked me and who didn't. Okay, I found out that some people only liked me because they felt they could control me. Some people didn't want to have anything to do with me anymore because I, stood up to them. And that's always good to be able to get rid of people once you find out that they only want you in their life when they can control you. And it's good to find out who those people are. And it's good to get them out of your life. You don't need that kind of toxic element in your life. You want to make room for better people. Or you just don't want them around. You don't want that rubbish around. Okay, so it's good to just make room for something better. And you have better self-esteem because you don't have people in your life trying to control you. Because I've had a lot of people try to control me and I put the boundary up and they're just like, they don't know what to do. They're like, oh my God, she has a backbone. I don't like her now that I can't control her. They find out they can't and they decide they don't like me anymore. But that's good that I find out. Okay, so, and at the end of the day, I end up feeling esteemed, like I respect myself. And it's like, if you don't put up boundaries, you're going to end up hating yourself. And other people are not going to trust you. They're not going to respect you and they're not going to trust you. And you know why they're not going to trust you? Because you're too nice. And when people are too nice and too accommodating, people low-key don't trust you. You know why? Because you're a doormat. And if you're a doormat, they think you're going to let other people push you around too. And they think you're secretly going to betray them because you just can't be trusted. Because you're just too much of a pushover, like anybody can push you over. They think if they can push you over, so can everybody else. And you know what? That is kind of true. If you think about it. It's just good logical sense. If they can push you over, so could anybody else. Because people who get pushed over can get pushed over by anybody. So you're showing them that they can't push you over, so they logically assume other people can't push you over either, and that builds trust. And people like you for that. People like you that you're made of something strong, that you have a backbone. You cannot be pushed over. So you need those boundaries, because that makes people see you as somebody of worth. So that's what I have to say tonight. And this is Queen Juliana, your Dark Mass Diva. And I will see you in the next content. Bye-bye.